Chetty, working as lecturer in BSL Law College, Kakinada, East Godavari. The college affiliated to Adigavi Nalla University, Rajamahendravaram, Andhra Pradesh. I teach public administration. Today's topic is, according to syllabus, Unit 2, the doctrine of substantive ultra-vires, and the second topic is subdelegation of legislative powers. The doctrine of substantive ultra-vires, an introduction. The doctrine of ultra-vires is the basic doctrine in administrative law. The doctrine envisages that an authority can exercise only so much power as is confirmed on it by law. An action of the authority is ultra-vires when it falls within the limits of the power confirmed on it, but ultra-vires when it goes outside this limit. The doctrine of ultra-vires has two aspects, substantive and procedural. When a piece of delegated legislation is declared to be ultra-vires, it is void and becomes unenforceable. It cannot affect the rights and duties of any person. Until a rule is declared invalid by a court, it is presumed to be void, presumed to be valid. If the valid and the invalid parts of a rule can be severed by only, then the invalid portion can continue to remain operative. However, if the valid and the invalid parts are inextricably mixed up, then the entire rule has to go. A void rule cannot be the basis of any administrative action. No one can be prosecuted under a void rule. The validity of a rule can be challenged in a court either directly or collaterally or by way of defense to a civil claim based on the imposed rule or as a defense in a prosecution for infringing the rule. A person can challenge the validity of administrative action by challenging the validity of the relevant rule. A person whose interest is affected adversely by a piece of delegated legislation can directly challenge its voice in a court. The court may grant an injunction or declaration or issue mandamus or award damages to the affected person as may be suitable. On the delegate or it is in conflict with the parent or enabling act, it is called substantive ultra-vires. The validity of the substantive or delegated legislation may be challenged before the courts on this ground. The ground on which delegated legislation may be challenged, enabling or parent act is unconstitutional. In India, there is supremacy of the constitution, and therefore an act passed by the legislature is required to be in conformity with the constitutional requirement, and if it is found to be in violation of the constitutional clauses, the court declares it unconstitutional and void. If enabling or parent act is void, the limits of the Constitution may be express and implied. Express limit. Article 13, 245 and 246 provide the express limit of the Constitution. Article 13 clause 1 provides that all laws in force in the territory of India immediately become the commencement of the Constitution in so far as they are inconsistent with the provisions of Part 3. Part 3 means fundamental rights, and shall to the extent of the contravention be void. According to Article 13 clause 2, the state shall not make any law which takes away or abridges the rights conferred by Part 3, that is fundamental rights, and any law made in contravention of this clause shall to the extent of the contravention be void. Conclusion. Thus, to draw conclusion, it can be said that if the subordinate or delegated legislation goes beyond the scope of authority concerned on the delegated, or it is in conflict with the parent or enabling act, it is called substantive or otherwise. The validity of the subordinate or delegated legislation may be challenged before the court on this ground. This topic 2 is sub-delegated or legislative force. If a rule-making authority can sub-delegate its legislative power only when the parent statute authorizes sub-delegation. Subdelegation of power of delegated legislation is justified only where the parent statute expressly or impliedly authorizes the delegate himself to further subdelegate the power to anyone else. The maxim, which means that in the absence of any power, a delegate cannot subdelegate its power to another persons. Thus, when an act prescribes a particular body to exercise a power, it must be exercised by that body and none else, unless the act by express words or necessity implication permits such delegation. When a subdelegation is made, it does not divert the authority making subdelegation of his statutory authority. A subdelegation is not permissible unless the said power is confirmed expressly or by necessity implication, and in the absence of such an express authorization, legislative power cannot be subdelegated. A leading case in this aspect is Ganapati versus State of Ajmer. Hence, the Parent Act empowered the Chief Commissioner. Commissioner made a rule which empowered the district magistrate to pursue his own system. The Supreme Court held that the rule made by the district magistrate was invalid since it was a subdelegation without an express authority. But if the parent article authorized to subdelegate, then it can be validated. If the parent act permits subdelegation to officers or other authorities not below a particular rank, then the power can be delegated only to those officers or other authorities. Hence, it may be mentioned that the authority cannot go beyond the power delegated. It amounts to otherwise. Subdelegation of legislative powers. When the powers of subdelegation, when a statute confers some legislative power on an executive authority and the further delegates those power to another subordinate authority of agency. It is called subdelegation. Thus, a chain of delegation gets created in which the origin of the power flows through the parent. But delegation is the further delegation of power by a delegated to another person or agency. The basic principles in this principle, the process is summarized by the maxim delegatus non protest delegate. Such delegation cannot be made without the duly authorization by the parent statute under which the delegation has been taken place. For example, even though no express power to subdelegate was granted by the Andhra Pradesh Markets Act 1966, the High Court upheld subdelegation by implication from section 57 clause D thereof. However, a subdelegation dilutes both accountability and oversight of the original administration authority. Safeguards are necessary for their functioning. The subdelegate should not act beyond the scope of the power delegated over it. Where the delegated powers conform to the subdelegate, up to some extent, it can be exercised. Otherwise, it amounts to, it exercised beyond the powers. It amounts to ultra-wise. At the same time, it's important that the delegation should not be vague and must be free from any irregularities. The delegation must be clear. It should not be incur ambiguity. What the delegation wants to delegate subdelegation, the specific rules and regulations must be expressly mentioned. It should not be vague and must be free from the irregularities. Irregularities should not be incurred. One of the vital aspects about the subdelegated legislation is it must get mandatorily published to be operative. Having considered various aspects of the legislative function of the administration, we will now consider the non-legislative powers. Always the discretionary power of the parental act is prevailed. If according to the subdelegation, any authorities or officers consent, exercise beyond the powers conferred by the Parental Act is invalid. If any aggrieved party means whoever sustain, infringe of their fundamental or other rights conferred by the Constitution, he can challenge in the court of law to restitute his or their rights. According to the writ of mandamus, if any authority exercised beyond his powers, the aggrieved party can challenge in the court of law seeking a writ of mandamus. Mandamus means on what authority you are refusing to discharge your official duty. Though while exercising the duties of the authorities according to the subdelegation, they must take care whether the rules or regulations confirmed by the Parent Act is correct or not. Hence, the subdelegation always must be obey the orders of the Parental Act or Parental Statute passed by the legislature. The acts passed by the legislature is always supreme. The subdelegation who are exercising their power according to the Parent Act will be called subordinate or ancillary powers.